Welcome to Make and Decorate, a podcast for makers who love to sew, quilt, knit, and decorate. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Make and Decorate with Stephanie podcast. I am Stephanie, and this is episode 103. On today's show, my guest is Minki Kim from Sewing Illustration. Minki is a pattern designer, book author, a YouTuber, and she designs fabric for Riley Blake Designs. I'm really excited for you to hear this episode. I think it is so good. We had such a great conversation, and it's so great to learn more about um, the designers who design the fabrics that we love to buy and make things with. So that is coming up. But let's get into some chit chat right now. The weather here in Chicagoland has been so extreme that I can hardly even talk about it. I'll just say last week was July weather in the 80s. And then Monday, it turned to winter and we had snow. Now we are back into, I would say, early spring temps, chilly, like 40 degrees cooler. And then we had some thunderstorms this week, and rain. But it's been crazy, very crazy. It should stabilize next month. That is why we do not plant any of our flowers or gardens until Mother's Day, because that is when we are usually safe from frost. A couple of listeners sent me emails, and I had a shout out from Krista Watson. Thank you so much about the last episode I did on AI in our maker world. So thanks for taking time to do that. I really appreciate it. And it's good to hear that it was helpful information for you. And I hope Krista doesn't mind me mentioning her, but she did post this on her Facebook group, so I think it's okay. Krista used the image AI program that I talked about, the Doll-E, to make images of a modern quilt design. And she gave it the directions to produce a modern quilt pattern. And she gave it 3 colors that she wanted. And it came out with some good images. Not exactly in block form, but I could see the inspiration it provided for quilt design ideas and kind of like a little, uh, stepping off point to take it and run with it to design a new quilt pattern. And I've been kind of surprised because my timing on that episode could not have been better because AI is all anyone is talking about lately. I mean, news and talk shows on TV every day, AI, 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 AI. And I'm glad I did the research on it because I definitely understand it better when they do talk about it. And when they have some of these experts on, they do kind of like toss out there, the programming jargon and stuff. So, I mean, algorithm is the only thing I could think of at the moment, but um, yeah. But since I kind of tested out these programs and I kind of understand what it means to train the programs and training, and the difference between like a formulaic algorithm versus an AI algorithm. Oh, all right. I better stop talking about that because this is not that type of show, right? um, Quilting, I have really no updates other than I have about, I would say 75 more 4-patch blocks to make. And then I move on to sewing them to the background pieces, which will then make up 12-inch blocks. So I'm getting there. It is getting there. But the more I see these Liberty fabrics and the blocks, oh, they're just so pretty, and the more I wish that this quilt was mine. However, it is not. It is for a client. But one day, I will make a Liberty quilt for myself. That is a must do. My break from knitting has been going very well. I've knitted 4 Easter eggs and am on a fifth. Yeah, that break is going so well. They don't really count though, right? Because they're small projects with color work, and so far it has not made my elbow pain any worse. I'm sure it doesn't make it any better, but not worse. And I'm knitting the Easter eggs from the 2021 patterns by Arne and Carlos. And I did get the 2023 Easter egg patterns this year. I haven't made any yet, but I think I'll make a couple of those as well. My favorite designs are from the 2021 patterns because I love the duck pattern and the cherry blossom and the iris flower. There's also a simple striped one, which is so cute. And having these eggs done now means that I will have a bunch of knitted Easter eggs to put in like a decorative bowl, or I can hang them from a magnolia branch next year. And I will have to snag a branch from my mom's huge magnolia tree. I meant to do that on Easter, and then just gets all crazy with the kids there and running around. So totally forgot because then I mentioned it, and then my sister's like, "I want a branch." Because at first she's like, "What are you gonna do with that? Are you like trying to propagate it or something?" And I was like, "No, I can force bloom it in, you know, a vase inside." And so then she was like, "Well, I want one," but then we both forgot. Oh gosh. Anyway, next time for sure. I also brought out some old EPP stitching and English paper piecing, and I stitched some hexies in the Liberty Christmas fabrics. These are the Liberty fabrics that are made in the Lazambee cotton by and Riley Blake distributes those. But it's an old project that I wanted to make a pattern for holiday pillows and some kits that I never did. So I'm stitching the hexies into a wreath applique for the pillow front, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to finish this project for the upcoming season. We'll see. I'm going to give you an update on gardening because I haven't talked about that, I guess, in at least one episode. Most of my little seedlings are growing well. All of the squash seeds I planted they're like vining out, and the zucchini and the yellow squash vines have started to bloom, which I'm not quite sure if they should be doing that yet. Since they've been started indoors, I might have started those a week or two early, too early, but they look great. It's just that they're like sprawling, starting to sprawl out like they do, and they're going to need a trellis very, very soon. But I just, with this weather, can't put them outside yet. I gotta wait at least 3 more weeks. The other squash plants, though, they definitely needed to be started when I planted them in early February. The butternut and the honey baby squash, they grow at a slower pace, so they're looking really good, and they're not overgrowing at all, but they look great. So I cannot wait to see how all of these squash plants do this year. The herbs are great. Actually, herbs are really easy to grow from seed, and you can save a lot of money by growing your own herbs from seed. And they are better quality plants when you grow them yourself. At least that's what I think. Um, And like for instance, the basil plants, they just look so fresh, and they're growing um so well, and I've got several of them. So I am going to do that. I learned that it's a great companion plant to plant with tomato plants because they help repel pests or something like that. So I'm going to try that this year. A few weeks ago, I planted some geranium flower seeds, and they are growing really well. They germinated, and I just saw a real geranium leaf um, pop out, and uh, that geranium leaf I love. It's like a little rippled shape around the edges, and it's got that little sort of like a purple stripe that goes around, like banding around the edge of the leaf. It's really nice. So I'm excited about those. I just planted those a few weeks ago. Let me tell you about the seeds that did not work out. Purple coneflower seeds did not germinate at all. These can be direct sown into the ground, and I have some more seeds that I will plant outside next month for the purple coneflowers. There's a leprechaun gold flower that I got from Baker Creek Seeds. It looks so pretty. The foliage in the photo is like green with gold colors, and then it had beautiful violet purple flowers in it. I followed the directions of the planting the seeds. It wanted them to be planted in seedling soil and kept refrigerated for a month, 30 days. So I kept it refrigerated on my back porch during winter, which was refrigerator temps, for 30 days and a bit longer, and a big old nothing. So that was a little disappointing with those. I won't grow those again. And then I might, though, just toss them into some seedling pots and see what happens. Uh, Also, what didn't work? Hmm. Similar directions for this specific type of lavender was the lavender is called Purple Elegance, I think. And I had to wrap those seeds in a damp paper towel and keep that cold for 30 days. These actually ended up sprouting and worked out. When I opened the paper towel, all these cute little sprouts were in there, and I was really excited. And then I transplanted them. And out of all of those, there must have been at least 10 seeds that I kind of sprinkled into the paper towel. About 3 have survived. So some of it was maybe like the shock of transplanting. I don't know what their excuse is for the rest of them. But so at least I'm getting 3 of those lavender plants. I'm not quite sure what makes that type of lavender different than the other lavenders I have. I have also grown Munstead lavender and Hidcote lavender, which are, I think, more popular types of lavender. They don't require anything special. You can just toss them into the seedling soil and watch them grow. I planted begonias in early February. They did germinate, but they are growing so slow. There's this cute little tiny leaf. All of them just have this one single little leaf right now, and it's very close to the soil, so it really hasn't grown up tall or anything, but they're still there, and they're still like growing ever so like slowly. So we'll see what becomes of those begonias. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's there definitely some fails, but for the most part, there has been good success with my garden seed planting. Now, if the weather would stabilize, we need to prepare the gardens outside so that I can plant these little seedling plants and install my new trellis arch for the squash vines. I can't wait to see how that works and how it looks. I envision it a certain way, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. One more thing. I have had a Phalaenopsis orchid from my birthday last year that I have been trying to get to bloom again. And I was just about to give up on it. And what do I see? A little tiny branch has grown from the main stem. And I am so excited. I cannot even believe this. I've tried to get orchid plants to bloom again in the past, but really, I've really done nothing with them. So I don't know what I was expecting since I really didn't pay any attention to them back then. But I've been watching a YouTube channel called Miss Orchid Girl, and I've learned a little bit more about how to get an orchid to bloom again. And it cannot be exposed to direct sunlight, which I did not know, but it still needs bright daylight. If that makes any sense at all. I'm like, okay, it needs bright daylight, but not direct sunlight. Well, she grows, Miss Orchid Girl. She grows all her gorgeous orchids under grow lights. So I moved the orchid under my grow lights, and I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if I can get it to bloom again. If I get this to bloom, I'm pretty sure I can graduate to at least half a green thumb status, don't you think? I mean, I don't think I have a green thumb level of expertise at all, but it is fun to learn and grow. All right, I want to share with you a couple of YouTube channels. One of them is called Process K. It is a Korean channel about how things are made, and they're usually by artisans. I just watched a video where a guy made a unique umbrella, and it was just fascinating to me. It was one man. He designed the umbrella pattern pieces on the computer, printed it out onto a substrate that I don't know what it was, but it was on a large format printer. Then he rolled it onto a tube and put it in the lower part of the huge printer, which is like a roller printer. It's hard to describe. Then he put the plain white umbrella fabric on a roll above that substrate roll and fed it into the machine. And then he pressed a button and it started to roll the fabric on top of the printed substrate. And it transferred the pattern onto the umbrella fabric. I think it was like sublimation. If you have a Cricut and you've ever tried to do the ink sublimation process, I've never done it yet, but that's the only thing I can liken this process to. I'm not sure exactly what it is called, but that's what I call it right now. He then cut the fabric pieces. So when he designed the pattern on the computer, they're like, the umbrella are like, each section is like a wedge or a triangle. So, and then he placed them opposite to make the most of the fabric to where, there's very little waste when you cut it out. So that's what he did next. He cut out all the pieces. And then he had all of these, at least 5 industrial type machines, and each one did one specific thing. And my dog is chewing his bone right now, so I apologize for that. See, I'm a dog lover, and I just he's actually in a good mood, and he's chewing his bone. So hopefully, my microphone doesn't pick it up too much. All right, where was I? Yes, so he had a machine that just did a rolled hem. Then he moved to a walking foot machine to piece the pieces together. And then there was a machine that only sewed a circle. It was a circle on top of the fabric, and then the little needle free motion needle just went around that circle. And then there was a huge industrial snap setter machine that looked really cool. It took like a second for him to put the two snaps on there. Um, and then he had a machine that just did like, I don't know. It was just all these separate machines. It was crazy. And then before you know it, there is this gorgeous umbrella with a continuous watercolor like painting motif on it. And then he hand stitched the fabric to the ends of the umbrella frame. It was very meticulous, and it had a matching umbrella cover, and it was just so nice to watch this umbrella being handmade, even with all the machines, but I mean, everything had to be hand guided through that. And then a lot of the hand stitching of the umbrella to the umbrella frame. I actually took an umbrella class from it was a quilt shop that's no longer around, and uh, I thought it was really cool when I read about the class. So I took the class. There was a little kit. It had like a wooden handle and the umbrella mechanism, and then we had purchased the fabric there, I think, and but a lot of it was done on a serger, but it just we didn't even finish it in the class, and then I ended up trying to finish it at home, but really couldn't. I just, didn't know. So it was too bad because that really could have been like a really great class, but um, that's why when I look for classes that are in person, I really tend to gravitate towards classes where you actually make something in the class and it can bring home a completed project. Of course, not all classes are like that, but um, a make and take is like the best scenario, I think, because then you understand and you actually work through all of the steps on making the project. One more video I will share with you. It's on the Quilt Show channel. Alex Anderson, quilting legend, had Rob Appel on her latest video. And Rob is doing a road trip from California to Washington State. I think it's Seattle that he's going to, I'm not sure. But he is staying in his SUV as he goes on this road trip up the coast, and he outfitted his SUV with built-in camp gear, and he's bringing a sewing machine. It's really cool. So he showed Alex the whole setup in his vehicle, and I mean, he had everything you could think of. He had like this shower on the rack on the top of the SUV. It's basically just a long tube. Like, I don't know, it might have been like a 5-inch diameter tube filled with water and hooked up like a spray hose to it or something so you get a shower effect. Brilliant. I mean, he did this all. Um, he's definitely a brilliant, creative person with sort of like this engineering mind. And then he built in some things into the back of the SUV to a little drop down table, uh, just all the stuff. And then he had a drawer full of the food sundries that he had, coffee, and he has a coffee sponsor. I don't remember the name of it, but it was really cool to see this. And the sewing machine that he is bringing with him is a Singer 99. He said the year that it was from. I think it was like in the 40s because it had that stitch plate. If you know about those old Singer machines, the ones with the black and the really beautiful gold uh, details on it. Um, the side plates to the sewing machine, those metal plates were decorative. So they had engravings on them. And the ones that were from like the 30s and 40s were beautiful florally type designs. And that's what this one had. Oh, so beautiful. And then the ones that were more from like the 50s, then they switched and they became more modern. So they have these stripes etched into it, which is what my featherweight has on there. Anyway, all of this to say that he painted this machine because he said it was in, horrible shape. So he pretty much restored it. And he painted it a neon lime green. And it looks awesome. It really does. It wouldn't be the color choice that I would choose to paint, but it just looks so cool. And it's so perfect for his road trip. So he will be sewing along his trip all the way up north, and he's sewing a quilt top that I think he is going to give to the quilt designer up in Seattle or wherever. Um, so if I have this wrong, forgive me, but watch the video. It's a really good video. It's very interesting, and I always like Rob Rappel. He's so good and talented. And, now he's tattooing. He is a tattoo artist now. Oh my gosh. So when I think of, oh my gosh, Stephanie, you're just doing too many things. You're just, knitting and embroidery and sewing and gardening. Well, you guess what? Other people do the same thing too. Look at Rob. Now he's tattooing. Another he called it another he added another needle art to his repertoire. It's so funny. So yeah, that's cool. So that video is on the Quilt Show channel. Also, Alex does give a health update too, because if you've been following her, she was diagnosed with, I think it was early stage breast cancer in like, I don't know, January, but she had a surgery in February and some treatment. And now she's, better and she looks great, but there's just still some things that she's, you know, having done. And she gives an update on that. So she is just one truly amazing person. The main segment is my conversation with Minki Kim from Sewing Illustration. I want to just mention that some of the parts where Minky is talking, you will hear her cute dogs playing in the background. They're young dogs, so they were playing with each other, and I edited out most of it where I could. There were only times where she was talking where I couldn't remove the sound from that track. But it's totally my fault because Vinky asked me if the dog sounds were too loud. And when we were recording, I barely heard them on my end. So I said, "Don't worry, they're fine." Well, they ended up being a tad bit louder when I was editing editing the episode. But I will say editing did fix most of it, but not all of it. So it's there. It is there. But it's fine. Also, Minky has a promo code for 15% off of her PDF patterns in her online shop. But you have to act fast because the promo code is only active for 3 days from April 20th through the 22nd of 2023. The code is Minky15. We're going to mention the code again during the segment. Lastly, every time we mention Kristen Esser, take a drink. We're going to play the drinking game. You can drink your tea, coffee, or the real deal. But I just thought it was funny because when I'm editing it, I'm like, oh, we're talking about Kristen again. I love Kristen. She is awesome. And I hope that I chat with her again on my show as well. All right, here it is, my conversation with Minky. Hi, Minky. Thank you so much for coming onto my podcast show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you.
I am so excited too. I am a huge fan of your videos and everything, so I cannot wait to talk to you about all of it. And before we get started, though, I just want to tell the listeners a little bit about you, and then we'll let you talk more about yourself. But you live in Southern California with your husband and 3 children.
Now they are grow up.
Oh, they're grown up. And oh, are you a empty nest yet?
Oh no, not yet.
Okay, good.
All of them are home with me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And then formerly trained artist, which
Mhm.
is very intriguing to me. And you're an author of sewing books, many sewing books. You have a beautiful YouTube channel called Minki Kim, and you are a fabric designer with Riley Blake Designs. That is a lot. Wow, that's really cool. I'm sure Southern California is absolutely beautiful because I've talked to other people that live there, and I've been there a few times traveling, but it seems like it's always sunny in California, except for today, I guess, because you have rain.
Oh, but this is one of my few favorite days because we can have only like less than 20 days for whole year. So I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying this rain.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Yeah. I enjoy the rain too when it's not like catastrophic rain.
Uh-huh.
When it's just like nice, gentle
Yes,
rain,
yes.
it's very soothing, I think.
Mhm.
So and it's nice because the earth needs it. So
Right.
um but yeah, so I start with your art education because I just feel like that probably gives you a really solid, grounding to how you've, bloomed with all of your pattern design, all of your designing. Tell us how you became the fabric and sewing artist that you are now.
Oh, actually, my major is sculpture.
Sculpture.
So
Okay.
and through my whole high school, middle school, and the college, I spent so many times designing, drawing, painting, everything. And I've just done right after I got the job, because I got the job has no relate with any art in
Oh,
it. So honestly, I didn't really like my job.
yeah.
Then I got married and then came here. So there is a gap, long gap of creating something. Then
Mhm.
I found out a sewing can be one of a tool that you can create something, not the canvas or not the clay, the thing you used before. And I kind of enjoyed, and I found out myself, I'm kind of good at it. Because when I go to work to make money, I just keep looking at the clock when I go to home, when I finish this. But when you at the sewing machine, you can stay up all night, and then you just cannot wait how the the thing came out.
Mhm.
So that's all kind of a passion and excitement brought me
Mm.
today where I am now. So that's how
Oh,
change
nice.
transferred.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't know it was sculpture. That's really interesting. In my interior design business, there's a famous sculptor in the United States, and his studio is out of the South. I want to say Kansas, but oh, that's not really South. That's Midwest. But he sculpts out of bronze,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
his sculptures are the most beautiful you ever see. But man, are they expensive?
Yeah, he must have a good support to, because if
Yeah.
you always start with the clay and then
Uh-huh.
you turn it into the bronze, then you have to
Yeah,
put a lot of money in there.
I'm sure. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot more to the bronzy because it's just when you first look at the price and you get shell shocked by that price. But we have clients that buy it, which is good because it's good for the artist.
Right, right.
So talented, and because you have to cast
Mhm,
metals like that,
mhm,
so I'm
mhm.
sure it's like a
And
huge.
then it goes forever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it lasts forever, right? Yep. So but anyway, with that, any art or creative thing, you kind of have that already in you. So when you started to sew, um, it sounds like you kind of picked it up fairly quickly, and you could translate the creative in your head to the fabrics and the threads.
I think I don't know if they have this class now, when in Korea, I went to school in Korea, and middle school and high school they have a home class. What is the name in English? I don't know. Home, you learn how to
Ho-
embroider, how to hand
oh,
stitch, how to
yes.
make things,
Well,
how to cook.
I think we called it home economics here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, home ec.
That class, and that was one of second my favorite class. My first is art class, and
Uh-huh.
second favorite is that class because I really like the hand stitching, the embroidery, and then my first thing in middle school was the little apron, all
Oh,
by my mom still have it at home in Korea.
oh, yeah.
So so with the sewing machine, the professionally, it's not that long time I spent using the sewing machine. Before, I always enjoyed hand stitching,
Oh,
everything by hand.
mhm.
So after learn sewing machine, the speed became faster.
Yeah.
So it is not like a first,
Ah,
So I had a kind of
oh.
practice.
See, now you're the opposite of me because I started with the sewing machine
Mhm.
first. And I just love I actually kind of turned my nose up at hand sewing. And I didn't really know, you know, until you start doing it, you don't realize how, valuable and just like cathartic hand stitching is.
Mhm.
And how very flexible, like you could do anything with hand
Yes,
stitches.
right.
So it's weird because I did the opposite. I just want to like zoom on the sewing machine and thought that speed and working on the machine was the thing. But then the more I got into sewing and quilting, and then I started to learn the hand embroidery and stuff, and I really enjoy that too.
Mhm.
So that's good that you had that first because you already knew, how to make these designs with your hands. So then, yeah, the machine is a little faster
Mhm.
and
But I didn't know how to do those things. It's just you just know there's a needle, what is called embroidery thread. That's the thing I learned from the class when I was little. But when I was when like late 20 with my sister, I went to this little quilt shop in my hometown, and she taught me so much. I mean, I'm still using her techniques, like how to tie a knot, how to hide a knot, those kind of thing. So she teach the first class I learned how to make the heart applique quilt, how to make a pin cushion, four patch pin cushion. That is the very first thing you learn. Now I'm making all the pouches, but because of all those memories, I always wanted to add a hand stitching, a tiny corner somewhere, to finish. So that's my best enjoy part. And some people doesn't like hand stitching at all. So it's
right.
my dilemma. I really want to add some hand stitching or finishing by hand, but I
Yes.
know there's like half of a person people don't like it at all.
So true.
Mhm,
Yes. Yeah. I think you're definitely right on that. And I used to be one of those, but now I'm not. But I mean, some people just don't have the time to. So
Right. So right.
the machine is faster and you can get some similar results. And like you said, I think in one of your books, I read that you can create lots of detail with the sewing
Even my
machine.
book.
Yes.
My book. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm already
Yeah.
excited. Somebody who has my book.
I couldn't wait for it, so I actually downloaded it to my Kindle, and,
Oh.
uh, and it's I actually kinda like it on Kindle because you can actually enlarge your photos and see the
Mm-hmm,
detail
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
really nicely.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's beautiful. It's the book that, you have the little what is it? Is it a house on the cover?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
that
so
book.
illustrated that I wrote with my friend Christine Esser.
Oh, yes, yes.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
That is a little house pouch, I think. Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So cute. Oh, I love it. I read
I
it
wrote
cover
four
to
books,
cover.
but that is my favorite book.
Oh,
First book is my favorite
oh,
book.
good. Yes. Oh, great. So, what you talked a little bit already about it, but what do you like about sewing that inspires you to continue making these projects?
I think I haven't talked about this to my book many times. And what I like is first, when I became a mom, I was kind of disappointed how your day goes by so fast with no result. Like you do the laundry every day, you cook every day, you clean every day, but next morning you cannot say where your time went, right?
Mhm.
So that's what I like the sewing, because you stitch a little thing today, tomorrow it's there, and then tomorrow you finish, and then your 2 days were there with the finished result. So
Yes.
sewing is for me like what do you call, you carving your time on your fabric.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the right
Yep. Mhm.
expression. So when I
Yeah.
now I have so many of my time,
You have
so many
you have
blanket
you
pouches.
yeah, it's like you have that tangible,
Mhm.
touchable result
Yeah,
of your
yeah, right.
time.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Mhm.
I don't write a journal. If you write a journal, you have that journal, you have
Mhm.
all your the, how your
Pages.
day passed. But
Yeah.
for me, sewing is my thing. How my spare time was there.
Ah,
So I when I just start to learn
uh-huh,
the sewing, and then I try to quickly as finish all the things you might have to do houseworks as fast you can, and
uh-huh.
then you just go back to what you really like.
Ah.
That's my that's a sewing to me. Yeah, a
Oh, okay.
diary with fabric.
Nice. Very nice. Everybody is curious about what sewing machines other people use. So, what is the sewing machine that you use most? And what I mean by that is it mechanical or is it super fancy with all the buttons and the screens or, what type of machine do you use the most?
Now my current machine is a Janome
Continental?
Continental M7, because
Oh,
I became a Janome
nice.
maker this year, no, last year.
Oh, nice.
So before I was a Bernina ambassador, so I
Uh-huh.
used Bernina for like 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And right before, I just bought a little domestic machine from Costco. It was a brother sewing machine. It doesn't have any fancy button at all. So I really love the fancy machine has the power of
Yes, the
sewing
power.
because
Yeah,
the little machine you cannot stitch it the bulky
right.
bags, but this thing
Right.
has all the things. So
Yeah, so I think that M7 is kind of the best of both worlds because it is sort of like a mechanical sewing machine, like, because but I think it still also has some electronic features
mhm.
to it. Yeah, that's really nice.
It has a
Um,
lot of different functions, but
yeah,
honestly, I haven't tried any like
right.
lettering, any embroidered. I just
Uh-huh.
with the
Your
straight stitches.
stitching. Yeah,
Mhm,
it does a really good job at that too. That's what your machine that you have now is similar to my mechanical machine, which is the Juki, uh,
mhm,
2010 Q,
mhm.
whatever it's called, 2010 Q.
Yeah, I want to try Juki how it is, because I see a lot of people use Juki, and then
Uh,
that machine looks really have a lot of power.
it
I want
has a
to
lot of
try it at
power. I
home.
love it for that.
Mhm,
Yes, and whenever I need to stitch something that has layers and
mhm,
bulk, I that machine is the best at
mhm,
it, and, it's actually pretty superior for almost anything you need to do except for use a zigzag or something.
mhm,
Yeah, but
mhm,
otherwise, oh, I love it. So that's pretty much all you really need if you're, gonna be making pouches and
mhm.
bags and stuff like that.
I get a lot of questions about the sewing machine. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if I'm the right person talking about this machine, because I just said one function and use keep over and over. So
Yes.
and then I
Yeah.
think whatever machine you are pretty familiar with. That is the
Yes.
best machine, I think.
Yes, yes. I just like to give my listeners as much information as we
Mhm,
can about the
mhm,
different types of sewing machines out there. So it's nice to hear about your Janome Continental M7, and I hear that's a really great machine because I had another guest on earlier in the season, and she's also affiliated with Janome Canada,
mhm,
and she was talking about it. So it
mhm,
sounds like a really great machine. So anyway, that's something for the listeners to, take a look at and see
mhm,
see if
mhm.
it's something that they've been looking for or not.
Yeah, yeah, they can
um,
consider if you have a chance. Yeah, we can consider about the machine too.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So you do design a lot of zipper pouches and bags. And this is another thing that gets everybody is zippers. What is a good tip that you have on sewing with zippers?
Zipper. So my first, I need to talk again about my first experience with the zipper. I'm so scared about zipper because the zipper was so narrow and small. Oh
Mhm.
my God, if I stitch my finger or if I break my nail, I'm the needle. So,
Mm,
so I honestly didn't use a zipper for so many time ever since I have a sewing machine. So I just make coasters, placemat, like a little bag with no zipper, just to hand stitch the button, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
like let's say like 2 years later,
Mhm.
after stitching something, and then now I don't know how it started, just to try the
Mm,
zipper foot, and
mhm.
then it was not as hard as I was scared of. So that's
Ah,
what I want to tell people. Just to try. And then I
right.
get questions about zippers.
Uh-huh.
Just to watch my video.
Yes.
Slowly. I already say that because that's my
Yeah.
experience, and then that's the tip I can give. And
Yeah.
once you know how to sew zipper, there is so many things you can make.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
Uh-huh.
I continuously come up with the zipper pouch idea.
Yeah, and I love that they're zippers. I mean, it's just and I watch your videos and you do the little tabs on the
Mm-hmm,
end of the zipper tape.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like that actually makes it a lot easier to sew a zipper in a bag.
The zipper tab, I have to say, I also learn from other designers how they do, and then
Uh-huh.
also watch the other people's YouTube channel, and then I
Yeah.
learned here and there, and I try their way, and then I come up with my own way.
Yeah.
And still, I'm just try to change it because you
Mhm.
wanna show something new in
Mhm.
this episode.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep to repeat everything over and over and over
Right.
again. Yeah. So
Right.
sometimes I make a zipper tab. Sometimes I just fold the end.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I just to make it longer and then doesn't hide. Sometimes put it inside.
Yeah. Oh, that's good because you show all the different ways that it can be done. You don't have to do it a certain way every single time. One thing I noticed, because I did learn about zipper tabs from another um, YouTube channel, and they do it a little differently. And then when I saw yours, I was like, oh, she's stitching all the way across the zipper.
Oh, because the zipper I'm using is
Yeah,
nylon, but it looks like a metal, and I
it did
get
look like
like
it was metal.
more
Yeah.
than 10 questions. Your sewing machine can stitch it metal? What kind of a needle do you use? But no, it's a nylon.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Your machine handled it beautifully.
Mhm, mhm,
And that's what I knew. I'm like, "That's
mhm,
nylon. There's no
mhm,
way it would have
mhm.
sewn a metal that
Wow.
smoothly," but
Mhm,
I liked it because you sewed the tab
mhm,
right onto the zipper tape,
mhm,
and then, you fold it
mhm,
around. So
mhm,
that was a really interesting way to see how a
mhm,
zipper tab was done, so I really liked that. And then, well, we're gonna get to your YouTube channel, but first I wanna talk about because this comes first. I think, and then you make videos about your patterns. So your patterns are first, right?
mhm,
Yes, and you have a pattern shop, and it is at the website sewingillustration.com.
mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
And
we should talk about the coupon I'm gonna give her.
yes, there is a promo code. That's
Mhm,
correct.
mhm,
And I forgot to mention at the beginning, I have it written
mhm,
down here too.
mhm,
But
mhm,
yes, you have a promo code for my listeners at the time that this video, this, this podcast goes up, and it will be for 15% off of all your PDF patterns, which is very nice. Thank you. And the code is Minki15. So Minki 15, Minki 15. That is the code, and you can also get the code from the show notes. So don't worry if you forget it. It's there. It'll be there in writing. It'll be for a limited time too.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
So maybe like a couple weeks or something, right?
Yeah,
Okay, very good. So that's wonderful. Um, and talk about, well, I think the type, if I'm correct, the type of sewing patterns you like to design are small projects.
I love because the small project you can finish in one day.
Right.
I don't have a
Yes.
patience. So I want to see how it looks like today, not tomorrow. And then I found out most of the people like the simple, the
Yeah.
quick project than the big, the great one. So I try to do
Yeah.
most simple thing mostly, but
Mhm.
sometimes you are tired. You have too many small thing. You want to have a big one to put all the small thing inside. So sometimes
Yes.
I try to do big one. Mm.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think that all of us sort of needs that nice quick project. And your patterns are not only, small and quick, but they're very functional and useful.
I try to be functional, but my main goal is uh, looks like handmade because when I
Yeah.
get compliment, oh, it looks like a store bought, but I don't like that compliment because then why you buy, why you make it when you can buy because it's
Yeah,
a lot cheaper.
I agree. And it used to be the opposite where the goal was to have it look like it was ready-made or
Mhm,
store-bought,
mhm,
but you're right. Now, that I've been sewing for, you know, so long, and the charm of it is that it's handmade.
That's why
And
I try to
yeah,
add a little hand stitch here and there,
exactly.
which
And
store bought doesn't have. So.
right. It
Mhm.
doesn't. And you're completely right. It is the details of being made by hand that does make it so special. And whether people that don't sew know it or not,
Mhm.
they gravitate towards those types of
Right, right.
things. Yeah.
I think, but when you're handmaker, you know the handmaker, right? Like when
Yes.
you go to shop, coffee shop, in the
Mhm.
line there is a lady wearing a bag, and it is a handmade. You can tell, and then
Yes.
I just I want to go to her and then say hi. I don't have a, I'm not brave enough to really do that, but I have the kind of a couple experience. So, I hope other people will feel that the same in a way when I wear my handmade bag. I
Mhm.
hope somebody came to me. Is it
Yeah.
made? The kind of
Yeah.
you can have a talk about how
Mhm.
wonderful you can make things with your hand.
Yeah, yeah, and it just immediately gives you a bond with the person because they
Mhm,
also make things and
mhm,
sew things, and, I like it too, and also, just, kind of, after a while, you sorta get to know some of the fabrics, so you can
mhm,
recognize some of
mhm. Oh, right, right. That's
um
it. I have to say thank you to my friend Christine. I didn't know anything about fabric designer. I didn't even know there is a fabric collection. I thought the fabric is you go to Joanne, there is a lot of fabrics. That's the fabric you buy. But when I became a friend with her, and she said she showed me all the different names. Then now I know the collection, and there are some fabrics now I can recognize.
Right,
Me a
right.
lot of time,
Yeah.
a lot of years, a long time.
It is true. So when I sewed first before I ever quilted, so I started and again, yeah, I didn't pay attention to any collections or anything. And also like an interior design, it's a little different. There are, you know, there aren't collections of fabrics, but there are fabrics made by designers.
Mhm.
But it's not, the quilting world is so fast and so different. So, I didn't know either that the quilting world does quilt fabric introductions like 2 times a year, every year.
Right,
And
right. When
yeah,
you
and like once it's gone, it's gone. So
yes, when you don't make now, then you're gonna have to play with the new one, and then your old one. I mean, the first of choice looks
uh
old already.
Right.
So,
Yes.
mhm,
Yeah. So I have purchased some collections when they were coming out new, not knowing what I'm going to make. I was just said it's new and I have to have it. And then you're right. A couple of years later, you pull it
mhm,
out and it's like,
mhm,
"Oh, this
mhm.
is like 4 collections behind now."
But if it is by one designer, it all works all
It
together because they have
does.
the same color themes.
Yeah, Tulip
Mhm,
Pink is one that does
mhm,
that
mhm,
really well.
mhm,
So I have a lot of her fabrics, and I feel like none of those ever go out of style because
mhm,
they're just colorful, and you're right, they work together with
mhm.
everything that she puts out. So I think that's really smart too.
I have to say thank you to Tula Fink again, Pink, if I have a chance, because she made my mini iron bag, and then she showed on her video. Oh my
Yeah.
God, so many! That day I got so many new followers. Thank you, Tula.
Oh, that's
I didn't have a chance to
fantastic.
say anywhere, but if she listen here, I want to say
Wow,
thank you.
that would be awesome if she does. She okay, I saw that little mini iron, and that's one of the
Oh,
things I wanna
mhm.
make because I have
It should
that
make, yeah,
Oliso
because
little
if you go
iron.
to the the sewing retreat, whatever, you should show off your iron bag.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That is so cute. The
Mm.
little iron bag. Oh, it's a very good design.
The name is a travel case for mini iron. It's
Travel case
always
for
hard
mini
for me to
iron.
name a pattern. So I often call my daughters, everyone, what should I call this? It's so hard.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's a name that people can easily search for and then we'll actually find it.
That's my dilemma too, because I want to make like some Lisbon or some fancy name. But if you search up that name,
Mhm.
if you're not a popular, famous sewer, that doesn't come up, right? If you say iron case, then come up. But if you can write down something else, that's why I always try to, make my name like what it looks like.
Right. Your patterns on your shop are PDF designs, and what you also do is you make tutorial videos on your YouTube channel so that then we can learn how to sew your patterns.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think that's really great. So what made you decide to add these videos to a YouTube channel to accompany your patterns?
Oh, it is another story. I didn't watch YouTube at all before. I was thinking when my daughter watched the YouTube, oh, it's a waste of time. Do something else. Yeah, but I had a chance. I don't know how it came. It just popped up. There is a sewing tutorial just pop on my
Yeah,
internet
the
browser.
recommendations. Yeah.
And then it was a kind of a shock because is there such a thing? Because what I know is people always make the PDF pattern, right? And then once you right after your purchase, you know all the steps. But
Yes.
this website, this channel just to show everything. Oh, why don't I do this? Because a year and a half ago, okay, this year my Christmas gift, all I want for Christmas is a silver button. So it was like January,
Okay.
and I made up my mind. It is
Yeah.
my goal. I want to have a silver button and this Christmas. That's how I start. So that month, I just do all night and day when I wake up. I'm thinking about what should I make? What should I make? So I didn't know how to use any tools. I used
Uh-huh.
my camera, and I didn't know any software. So I
Uh-huh.
used iMovie, the
Yeah.
app. So I just made it was the fabric trio. No, fabric basket trio. Oh my
Yes.
God, it was a hit. Now it is a million view, more than million view now.
Wow.
I think it was like a nice boost for me once you, like say, you start your YouTube channel today, right? And
Right.
you made a video and it was a hit. I
Wow.
was thinking, is there somebody in the YouTube, they are pushing up the people who start to video the first time? They do
Yeah.
that? I was thinking that. I still think about that, whoever just start something, they just give
Uh-huh.
a little push.
Yeah.
And then I try to learn how to do more nicer film with other people. I still don't know the graphical everything, but I learned how to do, what is the pro?
Premiere Pro.
Oh, yes. I found that people doesn't use iMovie. I found that people use that thingy.
Okay.
So I start to learn through the YouTube how to do. And then I search for the camera,
Uh-huh.
when you're a YouTuber, you need a camera. But I figured out many people use just a phone, but
Yeah.
it's no problem at all. So
Right.
I just using my phone too. And I search up on Amazon how the stand
Mm-hmm.
can stand your phone. And then I bought the LED light because my house is always dark. So that was it. So I didn't spend any money for the camera.
You got the light?
And the stand, it is like $15 something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. And I start to make, from the small thing, because it was the beginning. I have so many ideas, Once you start today, you have so many things to show because you made it before, right?
Yeah.
You just bring it and then you start again and show. Now, now, and then that Christmas, I really got the silver button. It was my best day ever.
Oh.
So, and then after a year, every week I try to upload 2 video a week.
Wow.
It
Yep.
was a lot of commitment, and I just
Yes.
try to do, even though if I go somewhere, I try to do before in ahead, so
Uh-huh.
you just don't miss the schedule.
Uh-huh.
And then once you got silver button, guess what? You got lazy. And then
Wait,
it's not
wait.
lazy. You
What is the silver button? Is that
silver
the
button, 10,000 subscriber.
Oh, okay. I had a feeling it had to do with subscribers, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, because I when YouTubers get like those plaques and stuff for the subscribers, you
So
could see it like behind them.
it was my like goal you wanna reach. So you just try your best to get there. But once you get there,
Oh, I like that. I didn't know that there was one for 10,000
so
subscribers.
you
That's good.
just I think it's good when you are a YouTuber. I don't know
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if I
No, it's
can
nice.
say
It's an
anyway,
incentive. Yeah.
whatever you start something, it's
Uh-huh.
good to have a goal. Like if you start
Right.
an Instagram, you make a goal. I mean, it's just the same as when I started the Instagram. I set the goal, I want to have these followers, and I
Yes.
want to do, then you search all the nice pictures, and I spent all day to post only one picture. I was just so
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
stressful, but
Yeah.
now I don't do that. I'm kind of changed now. I'm very easygoing now.
Yeah, I think
And
Instagram
then,
has changed a little too over the
so
years. Yeah.
coming up to ideas a week was
Mhm.
too much for me, so now I changed it to coming up one a week. But today I supposed to upload a new video, but I didn't. I just skipped. So I'm getting more easier.
Well, I don't know, because I watched your channel for a long time, and it just amazed me how many videos you would post so often and new projects. I just was like, how do you get all those ideas and the energy to make? Because it's not that you're just filming, you're making a project from start to finish on these videos.
I kind of enjoy making because it's all always you are doing, the bad part is, I mean, not bad part, it's the part you don't really enjoy is writing a pattern,
Yeah.
especially you are Korean and you have to write in English.
English, right.
So it's the kind of that part I don't enjoy. But without a pattern, you cannot finish it, the the tutorial, right? Because
Right.
my tutorial doesn't give any measurement. So
Right.
I get complaints from
Oh, you
people.
do?
Where's measurement? All kind of different language. If you translate, it is where is measurement. But after a year later, a lot of people who know I don't give a measurement.
Right.
So
Yeah, they have
some
to buy your
people,
pattern. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you cannot please everybody. You just you share the same interest.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there are either YouTube watchers that are only out for free, 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 free. And there's the other ones that know what it takes to create a pattern, and now you're actually giving us a video of how to make this pattern. I feel like it's a gift, and I feel like purchasing that pattern, you want to do that. You want to help support that pattern designer and that maker, and you feel good about it.
I'm really grateful for the people.
Yeah. I like supporting small creative businesses, and I do not, qualm at all about, oh, now I have to go buy this.
Right. And then when
But
first I make a video, I was worried, if I show everything, who would buy my pattern? Once you
yes.
show everything. And then
Yeah.
there is what I call, I understand you know how to make by yourself. You can make, go ahead. And then you need a pattern, just buy some pattern from me. So that way I changed my goal. I want people to make people to success
Yes.
make what I make. When very very long time ago, I bought this pattern from some Korean lady. It was one paper. It was one paper and written thing, and I was so disappointed because I didn't know how to do hexagon.
Ah, okay.
And it was hexagon pouch, and she didn't say anything about it. So,
Oh.
because of that experience, I could come up the tutorial idea, because once you know this thing, you think everybody know what you know, but don't know what people know.
Do
So
right, right. You don't
when
know
you
what
share
level.
all the process, it's just
Uh-huh.
catchy what you
Yeah.
skip what you know, and you just pause it and then watch it what you don't know. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true because, that gets into my head as well. And even with the podcast and like, oh, people already know all about this topic. But you're right. You can't get into that mind thought because you don't know what's, they know or not know. Or even if they do know, um, they may learn something. I feel like I always learn something. Just like I mentioned, that one video sticks out to me of the zipper tab and the way that you installed it very differently than I was used to. So, yeah, I may already have known how to, stitch with the foam and whatever and everything, but I didn't know that nice little trick that you did with the zipper tab, so I learned something.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's valuable, and people who always enjoy learning, I think those are kind of like your best, um, subscribers and customers, because they're open to learning new things, and if they already even know everything, they don't, and then they actually find something that they pick up and they learn. And you have a technique too that's different that not everybody does, which is the embroidery stitching.
And then I good thing is people show me their finish the project, and I learn from them because the color choices that I would never thought about it, and it came out really good. And then, wow, next time I should do that way. So I like that kind of give and take. What
Give
I
and
call
take. Yes. Yeah. That's
So
good. That's fun. Mostly what your YouTube channel is the videos that you sew from the patterns that you publish on your web shop. Uh,
actually, it I start the video first and then make a pattern.
oh,
Oh, So already
oh,
because you
wow. I
have to
didn't know
make,
that.
so while you make, you take step pictures
Uh-huh.
and then you edit video and then image and then you make a pattern and then release all at the same time.
Oh, I like that.
Mhm.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. The other thing I want to mention about your YouTube channel is your videos is that you have a specific style that's very consistent and there's no talking, but there's beautiful music that accompanies the video parts of you doing the sewing, and you have a very nice close-up view where we can see you stitching at the machine, which I feel like is very helpful and in seeing how things are constructed. But the music too, I love it. It's just
Oh, I
kind
pay
of
monthly.
oh,
It is
it's
epidemic. People ask about the music, so
uh-huh.
I say, I tell the website is epidemicsound.com.
Yeah,
Epidemicsound.com.
epidemic
I pay
sound.
monthly for
Yeah,
the
for all
music that I.
the variety of the music, because the other thing I like about that too is you switch up the music throughout the video, so we're not hearing the same 30 seconds of this
Uh-huh.
music
Uh-huh.
over and over and
Yeah,
over.
as well. But I really want to add, if I can, I
Yes.
really want to say something, this is important, do blah, 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 and you have to do blah, blah, blah. But I can't, first, I cannot. Second, I don't want to. Because I don't like my voice. I don't like my English accent. I cannot say the softly, nicely as you do. So I just skip all the, talking part. And my excuse is that there is a lot of subscribers from the other country
Uh-huh.
who doesn't English either.
Sure. Yeah. So that was something that you kind of got around that obstacle through music, which everybody can enjoy music. But what makes it successful is that what you're showing in the video translates to everyone very clearly of
Yeah, so
making what you're making. Yeah.
as I don't talk, as I
Right.
don't talk, so I need to show more because you need to see it when you cannot hear what they're saying. So,
Right.
but writing a sewing book was very helpful because
Uh-huh.
I know the steps. When you need some close-up, you need the close-up picture in your book. So
Yeah.
through that experience, this part they must have a question. So I try to zoom in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's really a great way to do your videos, and I think that's why when I looked last week and you had 162,000 subscribers, so that is extraordinary. And
Oh,
well,
thank you so much. There was a lot bigger channel.
yeah, but that's really big.
Thank
What I feel like once you cross that 100,000 mark, it's just like you're up there. And I know some of
You're
those
funny.
those beauty channels have like 5 million whatever, but
Uh-huh.
I mean you're in a niche creative category, so I feel like that even is more difficult to have so many thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, because you know beauty anybody can do it.
Like a cook, everybody have to do
Yeah.
it every day,
Exactly. Yeah, cooking too. So it's easy for them to get
Uh-huh.
subscribers.
Uh-huh.
But not everybody sews. So it's definitely then your niche kind of like goes down. So I think it's fantastic and fabulous. And I hope that you continue to do that because I love it. And I'm sure everybody else does too.
When I first started Instagram, I was just so happy when I get a follow, right? But you're so sad when you have unfollow, because when you have a little follower, you know all the number, you remember how many, like you have a 10 follow, you have a 7 unfollow. Oh, what did I do wrong? Why they don't like me? I tell
Yeah.
my daughter, oh, I have a 3 unfollow today. I don't know what did I do, like that.
Yeah.
But now the good thing is when you have like more numbers, you have a very easygoing mind.
Mm-hmm.
You are okay. Somebody come. You are okay. Somebody go. It's not
Yeah.
because I do unfollow a lot a day. I
Yeah.
do
See?
follow. Doesn't disturb. That is a good part when you have like a more number in your.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's something I have to work on because I don't I I don't try super hard, and I know it's like totally against all the rules of marketing that you're supposed to post every day, so many times a day, at certain times a day, and I just can't. I tried it for a little bit, and it was just taking up so much time that I wasn't then getting anything done.
When I go to Instagram or YouTube, they have like a very few follow. The just channel is just so small, but the older contents are so good. I want to say how I appreciate their channel, how I enjoy. So everybody should know what they're doing is right. uh, the older number doesn't really count because there is
Right.
a huge big channels, but you don't like, right? But there's a small channel you really like. You
Yeah.
hope that people keep doing it, a
Mm-hmm.
kind of a
Yeah.
unspoken prayer.
Yes, yes. Oh,
So
that's sweet. Yes. I enjoy that too. You want the people that have really, you see the passion and the talent that they have, and want them to succeed.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of many channels I really like, but it's like your hidden channel. I
Uh-huh.
I hope you don't
Yeah.
that channel doesn't get popular. Only you wanna know the kind of
Oh my
so
gosh, I totally know what you're talking about because there was a one channel several years ago, and now her channel is exploded, but I had her on my podcast show,
oh.
and more people then started to
Mhm,
talk about
mhm,
her and to
mhm,
watch her,
mhm,
so I
mhm,
feel like I had a
mhm,
little bit to do with that.
mhm, mhm.
I
Yeah,
wanna I
right,
wanna
right.
say I do, but,
Yeah,
I'm sure she did it all
exactly.
on her own, but but I know what you mean because then, sometimes their channel changes, and you
Mhm,
really
mhm.
like that more intimate
Yeah.
way that they used to be versus when
Mhm.
they start getting bigger and bigger and
Somebody try to teach you how to do your marketing, right? But everybody teach the same thing. That means everybody do the same. Like you
yeah,
post everything, one thing every day. You have
yeah.
this color thing every day. So all the color is all pastel, same color.
Right.
And then on the constant, your content is the same. I don't see any difference, but you have to post one thing a day. That means you need to do something, right? So
Right.
I think it's rather take a break, if
Uh-huh.
you don't really happy with what you're doing or
Yeah.
this post you wanna do. So
Uh-huh.
it's okay to skip a day.
Yeah.
So and even though it may take slowly to
Mhm.
grow,
Mm,
but there is a
yeah.
fan who
Yeah.
doesn't say
Well,
any comment, right? Like me,
right.
I don't leave any comment, but I really like.
But it's also true, and that's what I kind of resigned myself to. Like, I'm not gonna do it every day, and the followers that I have stay with me. They so, like, I could have, another 2,000 people follow me, but they're not gonna necessarily stay. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, they're not necessarily, you know, there for the long haul. They're just
Mhm,
there, because I don't like it when people do, "Okay, you have to follow me, you have to, click here, click," when they want you to get new followers, and
mhm,
I feel like that's not the
mhm,
best way to get followers because then
mhm,
people just follow you just so they can try to
mhm,
get the gift or whatever the giveaway
mhm.
is.
And then when the giveaway ended, you have a lot of unfollowers.
Unfollows. Yes, yes.
So sometimes I
Oh,
think, I try to not post anything which is not sewing related, like your, let's say, selfie or your travel picture. And it has just so little, comments compared to your main sewing theme, right? That, like, let's say you have 300 likes compared to like 1,000 likes. Oh, I have only these 300 people are really my follow. Kind of learning every day. You don't
yeah.
really stress out about that numbers.
Right, right.
Mm.
Okay, let's move on to your fabric design with Riley Blake Designs. And talk about your experience with your first line of fabrics with them, because it wasn't, maybe you just started doing this in when, 2015 or 2017?
I don't remember.
I looked, but I can't remember now. But it's somewhere in the last like
Yeah,
6 or so
somewhere like.
years. Yeah,
Mhm. Designing fabric is everybody's dream, right?
right.
When you play with your fabric, and then you always wish it, if it is the design you designed, and then you saw something. So I had that kind of a dream, and I was lucky to get accepted by Riley Blake. And my first design was a Dear Diary, and I compared to my first design to my now current collection. I'm learning, because first I just thought what I like. You put all the thing you like in the fabric, but I learned they should work together, So that's what I learned. So I use less pastel color.
Okay.
I more deeper color now.
Uh-huh.
So more and more, you design more collections. You have a new favorite. It should be, because if you don't like your current collection, that means you didn't do your best. Because if you like the before better, then what did
Yeah.
you do this time? So
Yes.
I try to always come up, and then I always think, will I wear this clothes? Will I use it for my bags?
Mm-hmm.
The fabric I designed, even though it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
in the screen, but once it turn into something, it's not as acceptable
Mm-hmm.
as you designed. Because when you design, you put so much love in there. It's really
Yeah.
hard to delete.
Yeah.
But it's the practice, let go, even though it doesn't matter how much time you put on there, because so far my best selling fabric is so simple one that you just design quickly, and then to squeeze some idea, and then you add all the bunch of flowers and other things. It doesn't come out well in the result.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, I'm sure, with fabric designing with a fabric company. And when you design a collection, do you have your sewing patterns in mind as to what would look good on them?
Once I finished my design, I always open the EQ program.
Mhm.
I have EQ
Yeah.
8, and then I try to make a quilt with
Okay.
all the swatches, if
Yeah.
it all works together. And then you need some color there that go back to my design, and I try to change the color, and then go back and forth until you have a nice quilt. And then not only one quilt, like at least 3 different quilt designs. And then you are happy, all colors work together, and then it's good to go. So
That's a good way to
this
do
thing
it.
is I learned when I designed my first fabric. I didn't know there's such a thing.
That's really a good tool to use, because visually then you can see it cut up into the different quilt pieces and put together as a quilt. I looked at the Riley Blake website at your section. So there is a collection coming out later in the year, I think June. And there's already like a couple of quilt patterns on there. So do you design those?
Yes, I
Okay.
recently designed, but I found I'm not really a good designer.
Ah, it looks
It's
good though.
hard.
It is. I've tried, well, it's different because I make a lot of quilts that I just make,
Mhm.
but, haven't turned them into designs yet because I think that's the harder part is to actually translate it into, like, instructions to because you have to know what size strip you're gonna cut and
Mhm.
how many of these are you gonna
Mhm,
cut and
mhm,
all the
mhm,
yardage and stuff.
mhm.
So there's a lot more to actually like writing it than actually just kind of like getting your fabrics out and sewing it. How much of quilting do you think that you do as far as for work, or do you do it for just your own?
Two quilts, at least two quilts whenever my new fabric comes and I
Okay.
make. So I have at least 20, more than 20 quilts, and I have many quilts designs on the published on the magazine, Quilt and More, like American Pattern Quilt. Yeah,
Okay.
I spend more time making small project than quilt. That's why, and I'm always say I'm a beginner quilter. Because nicely say modern, simple, not that gorgeous the other quilters making. So
I don't know. Sometimes I think that the simple, clean design is also nice to
simple
have.
clean is hard for me.
Is it?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, not simple one is hard. Simple is hard. Everything is hard for me to focus. I think I have to accept I don't quilt as much as making bags.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yeah. I feel like you do it well. I'm looking at some quilts hanging up behind you, and those are super beautiful with your fabrics, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
Yeah. That's got to be like the most fun thing for you
mhm,
is
mhm.
to make your projects now out of your fabrics.
But I wish a quilter live right next to me. But I give all the fabrics and then she just bring all the nice quilts.
Right, right.
That would be
A
best.
little quilt fairy.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Oh, that would be nice. Your newest collection that's gonna come out in June, talk about what it is and colors that are gonna come out with.
And it is the name called In the Afterglow.
Yes,
Uh-huh,
Afterglow. I read about it. It was really
uh-huh,
pretty. You
uh-huh.
wanted the colors to be like the after the sun
Mhm,
set
mhm.
and those colors. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I put all the effort to design main design, and I really happy was it. I was so
Yeah.
happy with the main how came it, and then I tried to design something I used to didn't. So Christine says this print will bring the people who doesn't follow you. So I will see if really people more people will like this collection. So I'm so excited. Oh my god. I so naming family collection is hard for me too. So what
Yeah.
my trick is you bring up your playlist
Uh-huh.
and then you see all the song titles. So this is one of the song title. And I
Oh,
kind of like the name, and then it kind of works together with my fabric. And
yeah.
my friend Christine, do you know what the afterglow means? What? So I I emailed my Riley Blake designer team. So
Uh-huh.
is it okay to use afterglow? Are you sure? I know, and they left it like you, and it's okay. Many people know what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, then I don't want to change the name. I like this word. So
Yeah, that's the thing I hear from people that, do not have English as their first language is that we have so many words that have several meanings.
so I'm lucky to have a friend who tell me before
Yeah.
publish it, so I can change.
Yes. That was very nice of Kristen. She's the best, and she's so lucky too because she is a marketing person, and she's got all of that experience that's really valuable. So, yeah, I'm looking and, you have some Your collections all have that nice dainty flower pattern, which is really nice, and that's sort of like your style. And this one has them too, but with a little bit more of those sunsetty tones and colors. Some of the, you get some corals and dusky blushes, and then it goes into the vibrant pink. And that's really what's in a sunset sky, are all those sort of, it goes from soft to bright to deeper. So I think it's a great concept for your fabric collection.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. You're
yeah,
so nice.
so I'm gonna put a link to this so people can see the fabrics, and then they can get ready to purchase when it comes out in June. Yeah, I like the midnight one. I like the midnight bundle, and I gravitate towards the cool colors too. So that's my kind of like my favorite. But I also like this orchard one, which has more warm colors. But it
I
has
think I'm a more warm color person.
Are you? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so but this is put together really beautifully because these warm colors go from soft to the deep color is like this really deep sort of a pink, like a magenta type of a pink color, which is really beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
Everybody, I hope everybody has a your eye.
That's what I'm telling them. Yeah. Okay. So let's in conclusion to this episode, and then for everyone that is a patron, we are going to continue talking, and we're going to talk about your Zaka books and your collaboration with Kristen Esser on the So Illustrated book. um, and yeah, some good little extra tidbits behind the scenes for the patrons. So patrons, you have that to look forward to in your bonus episode. So, in conclusion, I had a question that I thought I would ask you. And is there any type of hobby or project that you would love to dive into, um, with like, given that you have all the time in the world? Let's say you do have the time.
I want to learn how to do ceramic. I found this ceramic studio like 30 minutes away from our house. So last
Oh,
summer, my daughter, the youngest one, she's 11, 12 years. She and I had a class.
uh-huh.
It was the best mom and daughter time. And I
Oh,
was so, what I call nosy. I majored sculpture. I do the best. I was like that. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was just so bad. My daughter made this heart-shaped little ball.
uh-huh.
Mine, I I want to make bigger than other people like that. And then make it bigger and bigger, and then it collapsed.
It collapsed.
It collapsed. And then the teacher said, you cannot fix it, because I didn't know that the clay, you clay memorize the shape. So you can make it
Oh,
bigger, but you can make it smaller. That's
I
the
see.
thing I learned that class.
The
So
clay
what it,
has a memory, so once it's
uh-huh,
there, it's
uh-huh.
there.
So what it ended up, the teacher, I was just so sad, mine collapsed. You have mine. So I bring the teacher's sample one. And then it was like $70 one ball.
Oh,
Because the dress
wow.
was $70. And then we
Wow.
use it as a doggy water ball. And then it broke.
Oh, no.
So I need to go there again to make
Yeah,
better ball. So that's the thing I really wanna learn,
yeah.
if I have a time.
Nice. Yeah, I've kind of always wanted to sort of dabble in that ceramic thing, but it's, to me, I've never have. So, and I, watch the YouTube channels, and it does seem very finicky, and that you have to, I don't know, and there's differences. There's difference with the pottery versus ceramic versus porcelain. So it's all different, and they have different properties. But man, when you come out with these beautiful designs, it's just makes me want to, give it a whirl sometime in my life, hopefully.
In that class, I met a grandma. She said that she has a 20 years experience. It
Uh-huh.
looks so gorgeous.
Uh-huh.
I want to be grandma like that,
Oh,
You can do
yes.
the ceramic grandma. Isn't it cool?
Oh,
So we should
yeah.
do. We should
I
do.
love it. Yeah, we should. That would be great. I want to make a little ceramic holder for a pincushion.
So I asked them, can I make something else? And they said, that class, you should make the board, nothing else. So once you have experience, you can make whatever you want, but you're
Oh,
a
okay.
beginner,
You
so you
have to
cannot
learn
do
how
that.
to do it first and
Mhm,
then move on to the other
mhm,
things. Oh, that sounds great. I love
mhm.
it. Well, thank you so much for coming onto my podcast. I'm so glad that you're here and that we had a chance to talk about everything, all the good things that you're working on, and the YouTube videos and your patterns and books. So I will put the links to your shop, and you have books in your shop and also on Amazon. They're everywhere. So definitely, I want to collect some more of your Zaka books too, um, as well. So thank you. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much. It was always nice to chat somebody who can sew,
Yes,
who
yes,
shares the same
yeah,
hobby.
we do. Yes, a passion.
I hope the older listener was not bored.
Oh, no, no. I don't think so.
Mm.
Um, and only of all I'm in my 5th year of podcasting, and, I've only gotten 1, and and it wasn't super negative, it was just a little negative, but I figure 5 years, only 1 person, that's not bad, so, watch me get, like, 100 bad ones this week. But mostly I get really good feedback, and it really makes me happy, and that's why I continue to do this. So thank you.
Thank you. All the good
Okay.
energy is the like sunshine to our everyday life.
Oh,
So
thanks. Thank
I'm
you.
glad that we are shining our own sun to everywhere.
Yes. Me too. Yeah. And I think that, you are lucky because you had Kristen so close by and you guys were able to bond and sew with each other in person. And not everybody has that. I don't have it here. Someone super close by that we can just, there's people in the area, but we have to get together for like planned things, and it's not that more intimate friendship thing.
You
So
should put your sewing machine the next to your window. That's
yeah.
how she found out
Oh,
me.
that's right. She saw the sewing
Uh-huh.
machine in the window. I
Uh-huh.
love
So
I
to
love
make
when
the
she tells that
coincidence,
story.
you should
Yeah.
put your sewing machine where people can see. Oh, there the house somebody can sew. But be careful. They might bring all the pants. Can you hem my
Right?
pants?
Yeah. Oh, I need my pants hem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and also though, when Kristen told that story, I was just like, I don't think I would ever do that. I would not walk up to someone's house I don't know and say hi. But she did it, and look what happened. She got a really lifelong friend out of it, so that's great. It's wonderful.
Then I'm so glad we are connected through this episode, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I was
Yes.
selected.
Oh, yay. If you love the Make and Decorate with Stephanie podcast, check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/makeanddecorate. You'll get a bonus episode every month, even during the months that the show is on hiatus. Thanks for listening, and I will chat with you next time. Bye-bye.